guys, welcome to a new vlog, a weekly vlog. The start of this vlog, I will be reading The Immortality Thief by Taryn Hunt. I have to say, I am about 17 chapters into this. I'm not reading this copy because it is the Goldsboro special edition and I just don't want to mess it up, but I am listening to the audio and I'm really enjoying this. Oh, I match. My shirt matches. Anyway, I really like the humor in this. The humor is landing for me. I really didn't think that that was going to be the case. I didn't know that this was going to have humor in it. But, you know, humor is always a thing that I am scared of because I tend to not like humor in my books. This isn't necessarily dark humor, though. It is like sarcastic and snarky, and I do like that kind of humor. And I had been under the impression that this book was about people who were going to prison, like they had a choice between prison and going to investigate this ship. That's not necessarily the case. It is, but it isn't. In the very beginning of this book, we have a group of people who are caught doing something that they shouldn't be doing. I'm not going to spoil anything. And when they are caught doing said thing, they are given an option. They can be sent to prison or they can go investigate this ship. They're given that option under duress. There's not really an option. And it's based on the fact that our main character in this story, and I can't remember his name, Sean, he is a linguist and they need his skills in order to investigate this ship because the ship has been abandoned for 1,000 years. It's really cool. The way that this book is set up, I'm really enjoying. The cast of characters so far, I'm really enjoying. The setup of this world, I'm also really enjoying. So I can see this book being 5 stars. I definitely can. And I'm really loving it. I like that my reading started off with Art of Destiny, which is one that I knew I was going to like, which I guess I've finished December with Art of Destiny and started January with Art of Destiny because I hadn't quite finished the book off yet. And then, you know, I read one book that I was surprised by and one book that I was disappointed by, but this is hitting the ground running yet again, and that makes me very happy. But I'm only about 17 chapters into this, and the chapters are very short, so let me see. That's only about 117 pages, so it's not too far into it. This is like a 600-page book, but I'm really enjoying it, really enjoying it. So I will check in with you guys later. I don't have a whole lot of plans for this week, so we'll see if I can get some better B-roll than I did last week, but yeah, really enjoying it. over here talking to me. So I am about halfway through The Immortality Thief, and I'm really enjoying it. I do have one critique of this book, though. It's so far, let's see, how many pages in am I? I'm 309 pages in, and it is nonstop action. I can see this not working for a lot of people. There is good character development in here, but we're not seeing anything where they sit with their actions. And so I don't know about the 5-star that I had predicted this was going to be. It's probably going to be somewhere around a 4-star, but I like fast-paced books. I'm not sure. That's kind of where I am right now. I do like the atmosphere. It's creepy, it's fun, it's explosive. There's a lot of action, like I said. The story keeps moving forward. The plot's pretty decent. But the whole plot of this is them going after the Philosopher's Stone, and 3 sides to this story, where we have one where we have a Republic soldier, we have a ministry person who's kind of like an alien species, and then like a regular dude. And Sean, our main character, is the regular dude in this scenario. And I like his character. He's funny, he's sarcastic and witty, and kind of tries to keep the spirits of everyone up. He tries to get everyone to have fun, even though they're pretty much on the run for their lives. Now, one thing that I'm also really enjoying about this is there's a horror element to here that I wasn't quite expecting. I knew that we were going to be investigating a ship that was 1,000 years removed from the current events, but this ship, I don't know if it has created these beings. I don't know if they were there to begin with. I don't know if there were experiments being done. It kind of sounds like there were experiments being done. Don't know if the original people that were on board the ship are now these creatures. It's a little up in the air, a little bit mysterious. And the horror elements are actually pretty good. The way that these characters are interacting with these beings and the way these beings themselves are presented in this story, it's kind of horrific. And then we learn about experiments that had been done in order to grant humans immortality. And this is also where the Philosopher's Stone comes into play. And so like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's fast paced. There's a lot of horror elements that I'm really enjoying, but I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in at once. And I feel like my brain is starting to get a little overwhelmed with everything that's going on. And it's making me read this book a little bit slower than I had anticipated. And so this vlog might just be me reading The Immortality Thief, but I do have a big selection of books that I'm very excited to get to that are kind of sitting on the wayside. It's just taking me a long time to read this particular book. And like I said, I'm enjoying it. So I don't really have any complaints as far as like writing goes. I don't really have any complaints as far as characters go. It's just so fast paced and keeps moving so quickly that it's a lot for my brain to take in at once. And it's good though. It's good. And I'm still looking forward to the next book, even though I haven't finished this one. I added it to my want to read on Goodreads. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I am with this one right now. So I'll check in with you guys when I get a little further in, or when I finish, whichever seems to be most prudent. But yeah, I'm enjoying it for the most part. I just filmed my thumbnail. I have had a week. It has been very busy. If you guys don't know, we bought a car. There's a lot of things have been going on this week, and bought me a new car. I am really enjoying my mom van. I totally bought a mom van. One of my friends said the mom van, not just a mom van, the mom van. And it's so beautiful inside. It is so roomy. And if you guys don't know, or if you guys haven't seen many of my vlogs, we have a tendency to have my nieces as well. And so needed a van in order to cart around the nieces and my kiddo and my mother-in-law who moved in with us. So I have been busy, but I've also done a lot of reading. So our last update, I was reading The Immortality Thief by Taryn Hunt. I have finished it. What I do have to say about this, though, is that it was so incredibly fast-paced, and it was starting to make me feel like it was too much. And so I started Where the Library Hides while reading this. I was reading both of them at the same time. I've also had a lot of insomnia, so that's partially where a lot of my reading has come from. But this one turned out to be a very, very good story. I did, however, have to give it 4 stars, though, instead of 5, simply because it was so fast-paced that I couldn't just take it all in at once. This is 600 pages of action. If you are not prepared for 600 pages of action, do not pick up this book. If you are one of those people who needs to sit with your characters as they, go through the emotional journey of delving through this ship in space, this is not the book for you. But I am still excited about the second book. I do not regret buying this, the special edition from Andrew. Not at all. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, it was so fast-paced that I had to break up my reading. And that's where the Library Hides comes in. I did have the audio on hold at my library because I read the first book via audio or listened to it. And so I was like, okay, if I did the first book on audio, I need to do the second book on audio. And so I was waiting for the library hold to come in. And I have to say, I was so disappointed with this one. So disappointed. I love Isabel Ibanez's writing, but this one was repetitive. The romance was the focus of this story, which I was really loving the historical aspects of this story. I was really loving the mystery aspects of this story, and those went to the wayside for this one. And we all knew the romance was coming because of how the first book ended, but I kind of enjoyed their flirtation a lot more than I enjoyed their romance. And there were many elements to the romance that just made me aggravated with this, but it was so incredibly repetitive. And after the first book, which I think I gave 5 stars, if I didn't, it was a very high 4-star. This hit at 3 stars. So it wasn't a bad book. It was just not what I was expecting after the first one. And this is a duology. So it ending on a bad note, I'm so incredibly frustrated because 1, I absolutely love these covers, and 2, I absolutely love the first book. So I would hate to get rid of these, but I have a feeling when it comes to unhauling when I move my library, these might go. Also, you're going to see a trend in this video. We talked about me trying to read through the books that I own and me having a secondary goal of reading my BookBox books. So I am making progress on my BookBox books in this particular vlog. Also, I have been so busy that I've been forgetting to record B-roll, so we're there as well. And then one night when my insomnia hit and I was just trying to find something that was gonna get me through my lack of sleep, my brain fog, all of that stuff, I picked up The Collective finally. I have to say, this was good. Feminine Rage out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this. The characters in this were very fun to follow. It does get dark in places, and the ending was not something I was anticipating. So I really, really liked this. This is probably ranks pretty high up there in my favorite thrillers. I did give this 4 stars though, because it does get a little convoluted in places, and some thrillers have a tendency to do that. It gets wild, but this definitely was what I needed whenever my insomnia hit and I just couldn't sleep. So very, very fun book. And now for what I'm currently reading and will probably take us into next week's vlog. I am reading Babylonia. I know this is not on my TBR, but I got the audio arc of this, the ALC, and so I was like, okay, I need to go ahead and read it. I own the book, which book of the month sends the early releases. So this one I don't think is quite released yet. So I still have the ALC, like I said. I'm not very far into it, just about 12 chapters, but I'm really enjoying the writing. And I'd heard Costanza Casati was pretty awesome writer. And I have Clytemnestra, which I have not read yet. And so reading this is making me want to put the other one on a TBR of mine very soon. But yeah, I'm going through my Book of the Month books. I'm probably going to start going through my Aardvark, my Fairy Loot, and what I have left over from my Owlcrate as well. But I am enjoying this one a lot, a lot, a lot. I haven't gotten far enough into this to actually give you a synopsis or anything or tell you what I'm thinking of this other than I really like the writing style. But I apologize that my updates were not great. I apologize that I forgot to put in some B-roll for this vlog. But I am having a good time with my reading this year. I've really enjoyed just about everything I've picked up, other than my one disappointment. And that will probably be one of my most disappointing reads of the year, because I really love that first book. Let me know what you think about any of these books if you've read them. And let me know what you're excited for me to read in the near future. I still have my TBR over here that I'm very, very excited for. Also, I have a fun stat to show you guys. I told you I wanted to vary my reading this year, that I wanted it to kind of pull away from so much fantasy. And so I will post that right here so you guys can see it. So excited that I have one book for 6 different genres, I think it is. And that makes me very, very happy. But I will see you guys in my next vlog, because I'm doing these things weekly now, and we will hit the ground running with Babylonia.